we ready? Yeah.
I think we're recording. Hey, welcome back, guys.
Hey.
We're back with First Draft Podcast, and there's been a lot going on in the news and in culture recently. We're gonna explore that today, as we usually do, and it's happy to see you guys back. Got the crew back, and yeah, we're gonna do this Reddit topic is really fun, and we have to explore it more. There's so many fun things going on here. So,
I'm really invested in it.
Yeah, it cracks me up. So, yeah, we have the am I overreacting topic, and yeah, I think Blanca, why don't you?
Let me kick it off.
Yeah. Explain
Let's do it.
What's going on with
let's
this?
do this.
What's going on with these people today? Like this is
okay. What's going on with
we can
these
solve
people?
their problems. I don't know. Let's see what's going on.
So let me get right into it. So this woman or this young person, young adult, I don't know the age, but is writing. I guess I should have been less obvious, but since a little before we started dating in 2022, I was added to my boyfriend's, who was my friend at the time, 3-person Instagram group chat with what he explained were some of his closest online friends. The 2 other accounts seemed like real people because they had real followers and comments on their posts and drastically different aesthetics and looks to them. We eventually made a Discord server for us, and that alone was convincing enough since multiple times we'd all be active at the same time. We never voice chatted, but I used to never voice chat either, so I didn't think twice. The group got closer, though, as more and more time passed since I was first added to the group chat, and last month we got together and planned a research trip to Hawaii for August.
Wow.
We live on the East Coast of the U.S.
What?
Like, we booked this trip and everything. So imagine my surprise when I'm over at his house tonight and his computer is open and I just want to log into my Google Docs when I accidentally stumble across, first of all, follower bot sites. Okay, so it's a website, follower bot sites.
Yeah.
And also him logged in and chatting with me as one of the individuals I thought had become close with, and just got this sinking feeling. I didn't jump to the idea that they could be fake either. I was like, maybe he just has their logins since they're all so close and is way too interested in their messages. But then I noticed their only chats were the group chats and the server. And the real kicker was the email address it was signed up under was his backup email with his full name. I quite literally snooped until he got out of the shower and caught me, which I'm not saying was right of me, but I couldn't help myself during my snooping. I gradually became devastatingly confident that he wasn't behind just one, but both accounts. So both other people's accounts.
Yeah, both her
him.
other friends.
Yeah.
Or his friends.
His friends. Were fake, seemingly, yeah. I've never seen his face so red, and he just absolutely panicked and started shouting at me to get out of his business. I guess when he got out of the bathroom. I couldn't even form the right words to say to him. In the end, I just walked out of his apartment sobbing. It's very early in the morning, I get that, but this screenshot is what he has to say, and I'm starting to feel crazy. Am I overreacting? So this is what she says. I just want to know why, when it finally came time for the Hawaii trip, how were you going to explain this? What were you thinking? And this is his response.
Yeah.
This is his response. You know something I've noticed about you? Him. You can never just be calm, and there always has to be an issue. I know you were raised in a volatile environment and still have to relearn a lot about healthy relationship dynamics, but it's like you thrive on chaos only. And we were going to see Wicked tonight. Poof. I guess there that goes. And then she wrote, you can't be serious. I deserve answers. I am honestly so creeped out. Basically, half of my life for the past 2.5 years has been a complete and total lie, and you were behind all of it. And then he says, Okay, don't be dramatic. You know this isn't a big deal. You're just giddy, so giddy to harp on this and make it a bigger issue now.
Whoa, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
incredible.
That's crazy.
I'm assuming these have to be young people as well, because she said I spent half of my life.
Half of, yeah.
What did she say? How did she word it?
She said,
it's Discord, so
I don't know.
Well, I mean, there are older people on Discord, but she made it seem like she spent a huge portion of like her, I'm assuming her young adult life.
No, she said basically half of my life for the past 2.5 years. It's just the way she wrote about. I still think they're young. They're probably early 20s or something.
Yeah,
early, like maybe like 19, 20.
I agree.
21.
So what's everybody's take? And is she overreacting? I don't think she's overreacting at
no.
all. Heck no, that's crazy.
He's he's 100%. I'm just gonna diagnose him. He's a malignant narcissist.
Could be.
A malignant narcissist. Like, he is so bold. He is so puffed up on himself and on his pride that, like, he has nerves of steel, because he could probably go do something horrible and go take a lie detector test and probably pass it, because he is like, he's not operating on a normal human level. He's like very deceptive and manipulative and narcissistic, and he's gaslighting her, trying to make her believe that it's her doing these things. And he's like even talking about, well, now you even made us miss the movie. So she's talking about something really big, and he's like being very like my like granular about, oh, well, what about tonight? And you know what I always about you? He attacked her the way she is.
He blamed her. He made her the scapegoat for his.
He didn't just blame her, but he also said, you're always like this. Like, he attacked her character, her the way that she presents and operates through life. He just did so much damage right there and tried to gaslight her, make her feel crazy, and was like, hey, look at that, threw a monkey wrench over here, like, look at this, we're missing the movie, don't pay attention to all of this crap that, like, you just found out, but since every time you are going to try to look at, I'm going to, like, treat you like you're being a crazy maniac. I wouldn't be surprised if he, like, started telling people that she's bipolar and she's, something's not right with her, because that's what people like that do. They flip everything on you, but not just like in the moment, like eternally, in a very wicked way, to not just like make you feel crazy, but to, like, if it ever comes out, to make other people think you're crazy, because they would never want other people to, like, truly know what was discovered, because he's horrified this was discovered, but he's playing it cool. It's enough for his girlfriend to know about it, but he doesn't want her telling other people, but she will. So in preparation for that, he's going to start gaslighting her more and more, make her be the crazy one to even say something like this.
Well, the thing is there's no other purpose besides manipulation for him to even involve her in something like this. It's not even, there's no real underlying momentum that he gains outside of just being able to control her time outside of their interpersonal interaction, which is scary. Like, that's the ultimate form of manipulation.
And he is also setting up a life where he's peering into her life, and watching what she does, like Big Brother type thing, because she said one of these people, like, she got really close with, is almost like to assess, like, be the fly on the wall. How are you going to act with this person? Yeah.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. So, like, it's all the way creepy. And he created different personas. Like, imagine the amount of time invested in this for him. He has probably been, like, going to bed every night, like, so proud of himself every night. He, like, successfully has been accomplishing this and learning more about her and getting her in more and more of a box and making her believe more and more. He feels like he's been, like, the guy right now.
So it begs the question, though, what are the boundaries within a relationship? where does the line get drawn?
Well, obviously,
so per se,
way before this, way before anything like this. This is crazy.
Yeah, so we have to acknowledge the fact that there's a virtual component here, and there's potentially an AI component here too. So he may have been employing bots.
Well, it says it. She acknowledged that. She said
were there bots?
She said that there were a bot site, which
she said the first page she opened was a bot site.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't corroborate the actual story. If the people she was interacting with were bots, and that's
no. I think she said bots, bot follower sites. So he used those sites to make those other identities gain followers, so they look like they look like real accounts.
But were those accounts operating independently as like AI agents?
No, I don't think so. I think he's controlling everything.
So he was actually facilitating the whole conversation.
Yes, he's doing it all.
Yeah, because the bot's not going to come up with a trick, coordinate a trick. Like even if they were bots, he would have to be feeding that AI the information for them to coordinate a trick. So let's just
keep it simple, and like he used the bot sites or whatever to create followers for his.
That's what I think.
For his fake accounts, basically. But he's manipulating.
It's basically to substantiate a valid account.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you got 300 followers.
Let's answer it based off of that, because that's what it seems like she's saying.
Well, it sounds like it seems like she's saying that he made specific accounts just for the purpose of manipulating her.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what we're saying.
That's what we're saying.
It sounds like what he's doing is, and this is a deeper topic, it sounds like what he's doing is engaging in psychological operations and psyops.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In order
we
to
100% agree.
And probably in order to get his girlfriend to enhance her attraction to himself.
I think it's even more nefarious than that. It's like to create the boundaries of how their attraction or their dynamic of the relationship is defined. Like, I'm limiting you to reality. Like the reality of our relationship is very filtered. It's only within what I tell you is our relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like that's the world you're living in.
Show.
Oh,
like
the Truman Show. Great show.
Yes.
Great show.
So that's what he actually.
1984. George Orwell. Like manipulate. Like
you're creating the world in which this person lives in.
You're world creating. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the actual issue here. Is that he's curating an entire reality for this girl. Probably to get her in order to get her to like him.
To like him, they've been
going
out
already in a
2.5
relationship.
years.
What do you mean to like him?
Yeah.
Okay, not to like him.
But she did say at first when she joined,
totally enamored by him and totally taken by him.
But she did say when she first joined the group chat, because he invited her, they were just friends. So he may have done it at first to get her, which was still creepy and wrong, but then kept going, and this like evil thing that he's doing, like, very creepy and weird and like evil just for those reasons alone.
Very underhanded.
Just kept snowballing, but I don't think that like this just like was born out of something new in him. Like I think that it came out of some part of him that is already probably a big part of his personality was already there. Some foundationally weird, creepy thing about him. And
so I think is that you diagnosed him as a narcissist. Is this bordering on psychopathic behavior as well? Is this is this a psychopath?
Well, like narcissists, I think they're mainly one or the other, but like I really think they can be both psychopathic and sociopathic. But psychopathic
they can be
is
different.
More, they can be different. But I think a malignant one that I said is like a little bit of both, because this almost delves into like territory. Well, it's like so weird. I wouldn't put it past you to like get to the point where you eventually like kill someone.
Well, which is what I kind of wanted to do. We wanted to respond to there were some comments that I read in this post.
Mm-hmm.
There were people telling her to like run for her life, like get out now, like change your password, tell all your friends in real life that you went through this experience. Maybe relocate, which is not always feasible to do, obviously.
I wouldn't say that type of thing.
They were like basically ringing the alarm, like turning on the siren, like, dude, you need to in this, not only are you not overreacting, you need to get out of this relationship, and then not only that, you need to start considering your safety at this point.
So he's not a domestic abuser, like somebody that would likely go and kill a woman, at least not at this point.
Right.
So I don't think he's imminently as dangerous, but I'm not saying that he
could it turn into that if she decides to leave, you know, like that's where you
I don't think it would. I think that right now he's more on the psychological tip, but if this keeps going, he could, I suppose. But I almost think like domestic abusers are abusers, and then psychological, like narcissistic type people, most of the time, that's the lane they stay in. But like they can cross over, I'm sure. Like something can make them snap, you know, and they're already unwell mentally. So I do think that they could cross over. I don't think like if this was a domestic situation where she's being hit or she has been threatened in the past, like if you leave me, you're not going to live to see it the next day. I think that would definitely, like, you have to be very careful about leaving an abuser not leaving them, the way in which you do it, and have your support system set up in a shelter you'll go to that they're waiting for you, and that like he'll never be able to find out. If he does find out, then he won't be able to access security. I don't think this guy is a whole, like he does the mind. He tries to destroy you from within rather than from the outside. Like a domestic abuser destroys you from the outside. This type of person like gets into your mind and implodes you. Like you are left a shell of a human being if you say, and that, yes, is very dangerous, but it's very dangerous because they take your
it's a psychological
mental
prison.
well-being.
It's a psychological prison.
Yeah.
Like if I can trick your mind, then it doesn't matter what I do to you physically. You're going to stay put.
Yeah. And and I think that he would be dangerous in the way, like he would probably create like stalking type accounts to scare her as if she was being stalked so she could run back to him.
I mean, basically he's already doing that.
Yeah,
I mean, technically.
But in that sense, like he could be like surveillancing her in ways that are deeper than just like technology. He could be like following her and doing stuff. Now, but for him to make that jump, that can happen to like hurting her physically, right? Like hitting her or killing her. But I don't think she's in imminent danger. I think this is the time to get away, though, and to be watchful. Obviously, you still want to be super careful, be vigilant.
So we all agree that she's not overreacting.
Heck no.
Heck no. Shoot, I'm glad she came to Reddit. I'm worried for that.
I'm glad that the comments you read were all like, no matter how much, even if they did say change your name to whatever, all those are helpful comments to her because she can still like gauge the level of like unhealth in this person and how disordered, you know, this interaction regarding the chat is, and it could help her make sense of what's really going on, because right now she's super confused. But if she sees every single comment is like telling her run away, get away for your safety, it doesn't matter how extreme people are reacting, it lets her know like, girl, you need to go. Yeah,
I don't think every single dude, there were 7,000 response comments to this thread.
Most of them were telling her get away.
Yeah, and then, well, a lot of them were just telling her, no, you're not overreacting. This is very unhealthy. This is not the standard of what a relationship should be. It's not even, I mean, it's far below standards, and
it's far outside of anything remotely. Wow. That's really a smart thing that she did, because like when you're young and when you don't you don't come from a strong foundation as a family, like your parents could be together, that doesn't mean it's a strong foundation.
Well, I agree with that fully.
But like when you don't and you get into another relationship, and like that's what evil people will look for, people that are vulnerable like that, and will prey on their minds, and it does confuse you. It confuses you, and you're like, you know it's wrong, you know, like she knows this is wrong, but because there is a way for that guy to get her back if he plays his cards right, because he one of those tactics that he's using, like gaslighting and I don't know.
Yeah,
they will all like find a weight back into her mind. But when she reads these comments and stuff, it's going to be a lot harder for her to just like
I guess
blindly decide, okay, let me just trust him again. Those comments are going to be ringing in her head constantly.
And I guess before we wrap up the segment, I find it interesting because tech was instituted in the deception, like in the wrongdoing, but at the same time, tech was also a solution because she used tech to reach out to find out her answer.
Yeah, true.
Like it was, so it's something I've been talking about. I've talked about it not talked about it, but I've thought about it as of late. Like, is tech and social media, is it always an evil thing or always a good thing, or can it be both, depending on how it's utilized? Well, it's a tool, just
like anything else we have in life.
I agree.
It's just another tool, and it's like.
But I know some people that will twist that narrative and say every interaction with tech is always going to lead to a bad outcome. And I don't agree with that.
I don't think that. Most like don't you think the majority of people wouldn't say that? I don't see the majority. I
agree with you on that, but I think there's a large enough group of people.
It's not as clear as to say that I think that divide is very gray, and it's not as clear as to say that there's a majority who would agree or disagree with it, because tech is so pervasive now in all of our lives that you could easily make a case that it's net harmful or net beneficial.
Yeah.
And so it's very hard to make a blanket statement like that.
But I don't think tech is like.
But tech definitely is this is what's facilitated. Well, most Reddit conversations, but especially this one, which is that it's a Discord group, and Discord is managing servers and managing chat groups, and it's the boyfriend made a complete. It's crazy that he did this. He fabricated an entire chat room of fake people.
Yeah,
and maybe he got AI to do a lot of the stuff for him, and I guess he duped his girlfriend, which is deceptive. And yeah, he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And rest assured that if not her, he's gonna do this again. I think he got a lot of like supply, which is the term that they call that narcissists get from their sources. Like,
I don't know what that is. I need to research that. I don't know what that is. Supply? It's called the
like
supply?
Narcissistic supply from their source. Like they need,
like they feed off the turmoil of their victim.
They're like
that's crazy.
They're vampires.
I didn't
they're
know
vampires of like
that's crazy
energy and whatever else. But basically, because narcissists are like a shell of a human being for the most part, so it's like a mask, but behind the mask there's just a carcass of a human being. So the supply that they need comes from like they have what's the word that people use? You're my muse. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's like you're sucking the life out of them because you know you have no life in you. And so like this guy is supplying him with what he needs to keep living, just like water. And he's gonna do it again, and he's gonna do it again.
Cool. The nice segment, guys. I think that works.
Gosh, interesting topic.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let's boom, move on to next thing. So. Hey, we're back, guys. The last topic is this weird case between these high school kids. There was this kid who got stabbed by another high school kid, and it's very, very awkward, very weird. There might be murder charges involved.
I think he has been charged with murder, right?
I don't know. He may have.
We can look up the facts. We can look up the facts, and I think he was charged with murder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Let's yeah, we can do that. Shall we look that up? Yeah, because I would like to know, like,
You said he was.
yeah.
Was that what your sign? Yeah. You said, yeah, he was.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't know exactly what happened with this. Some poor kid is dead, and some kid is claiming it was self-defense. And yeah, we're gonna explore this story right now. So yeah.
Go ahead, Fred.
We're gonna wait for.
For what? No, we're not. We're not waiting.
Never mind.
He already confirmed it. He gave the thumbs up.
He already confirmed it. That he was charged.
Okay, I thought you were in it. Okay, yeah. So continue.
I mean, I guess I'm just trying to understand.
Austin Metaf was killed by.
I understand that.
I know what I thought we were saying it.
No, you're right. I understand
Austin
that.
Metaf was killed by Anthony.
Is it Carmelo Anthony?
Is it Anthony Karmelo or Carmelo Anthony?
Carmelo Anthony, yeah.
That's
The
crazy.
two 17-year-olds in Frisco, Texas. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I just want to. I don't really have a huge take on this. I really don't. I think it's a tragedy, but I don't know what else to say. Like, what do you all feel? Like, really what's the real issue, I guess, is why is it in the news so much outside of the fact that it was a tragedy, and outside the fact that it was minors, and outside of the fact that I guess each participant was of a different race? That's probably what
that's
what
makes it a topic. And is it, and also does it have to do about, I mean, we're going to, I guess, refer to like what Matt Walsh said, why is anybody armed at a track meet? And so that, I guess that goes into like the right to bear arms and how that goes. I just don't.
But
it's actually a good point. Yes. Yeah, because because what I listened to his analysis and it was pretty good, but it was incomplete because you should be able to, and this is where him and I disagree. You should be able to carry a knife on your person no matter where you go in public.
At a school sanctioned event, is that allowed? It's not should you be able to. Are you allowed
I'm glad you're
to?
asking that.
Yeah, are you allowed to?
Well, actually doesn't.
I don't think that's allowed at a school sanctioned sport event.
Blanca,
event.
It doesn't matter if you're allowed to or not. If you think that your life might be in danger, like if you're at some kind of inner city school, I can totally understand why you might, if you're an honest person, and maybe I don't know who's honest person there or not or whatever, but like I understand why you would carry a knife on your person.
But that's not even a generalization. What you just said. You said an inner city school. I mean, if your rule holds true, it should be at all schools, right? Whether you're in the inner city or you're
at all schools, you should be able to
BFE,
carry a knife.
Like, what does it matter?
You should be able to carry a knife, and that.
Can we look that up? What are the rules for schools in Frisco, Texas?
I'm gonna say you can't do it, and if you can't do it, that's the rule, and you can't. So it does matter, and how you feel about a situation doesn't matter when it comes to this rule. You know, like if you want to go to a concert at the Yum Center and you're not allowed to take a gun in there, then you're just not allowed to take a weapon in there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter how you feel about it or why the reasons. Like at the end of the day, if something does go bad, it's too easy. One, you broke the rules. Two, anyone can say, well, I just felt in danger if this guy that killed this Austin guy felt in danger for his safety, then why did he go and do something that would put him in danger around people why would he go and like sit in a place he's not supposed to? And when they told him it wasn't his area, why would he become incensed? And if he's scared, why would he react in a way that would instigate someone else's like aggressive reaction towards him? So like that doesn't show fear. To me, it's not showing that you're being like fearful. I'm not saying you should act in a fearful, but I'm just saying you should want to be the type of person who is not looking for danger. And like this guy, I don't think him sitting in the wrong location should have been him looking for danger. But if he justifies, well, I had a gun because I'm scared for my safety at these places, then you're not the type of person who would also go and sit at the wrong location.
Well, then it also,
like, it doesn't make sense. Are you the type of person who is scared for your safety, or are you the type of person who's going to go sit at the wrong location with people you don't know? You can't be both types of people. Does that make sense?
No, I agree. And then I guess Carmelo Anthony, the perpetrator, is also trying to claim self-defense. And part of the qualitative trait of self-defense is that you're put into a position where you can't retreat. If that dude told him to leave the tent, then you have an opportunity to leave the situation. You can't claim self-defense if you have an opportunity to leave the situation. And that's where the legality comes into play.
I didn't know that. Or thought about it.
Yeah, like when it comes to court and legalities and in regard to a self-defense claim, you have to prove that you were in a position where you couldn't retreat or flee or escape the situation. If the person that's attacking your life allows you to leave, then that's the move you have to take.
That's common sense. I knew that, like, by assumption, but not because I thought about it.
Right.
You know,
but
that
makes
saying,
total
like,
sense
legal what quality. You're saying.
Yeah. So that's where it gets tricky, because maybe he can claim once he started grabbing his backpack, well, now I can't leave. I'm restricted. I can't just walk out. I can't just, and that's where it becomes like a gray line in a way, because if you're grabbing on me and my property and restricting me, then I truly, even though you're telling me I can leave, you're not letting me leave.
Like, just looking at it from like 30,000 feet above, I would say what Carmelo Anthony did led to this situation that got crazy and to this guy's death, like directly. Like him, all the decisions that he made that day were like the domino effect that led to this guy's death.
But do you think he intended for that guy to die? Do you think he went to that tent to kill somebody?
I don't know. No. Depending on if he had a knife with him.
Just from the information we have.
Depending if they're saying he had a knife, then yeah, I think there's a possibility he went there to look for somebody who was gonna like pick a bone with him because he might have been angry. Yeah, I'm saying, but if it wasn't like a knife, if it was like the cleats thing or whatever, it could have been just like it got heated that quick. But if he had a actual gun in his backpack, I would say there's a 50-50 chance that he went looking for trouble.
And that would also be, did you look up what the rules are for school events there? There's
that's like just common sense. That's not going to be allowed. And your thoughts, like you said, well, it should be allowed. The rules don't matter. If you feel like, no. If you feel like it, then don't be a sports athlete, because you're not allowed. I don't want a football player that's playing with Calvin or the other team to feel like he might be in danger playing against Ballard High School, so it's going to be okay for him to carry a knife or a gun. I don't give a shite. If you don't feel safe, like they say in England,
German Gestalt. Oh my gosh.
If you're not going to feel safe, that you're going to feel that in danger, you're going to have to break the rules and carry a weapon. Get out of here. You cannot be an athlete. You cannot be breaking rules like that. Those are not just any old rules. These are rules that have to do with tools that, if used inappropriately, bring about someone's death and deadly mistakes.
I'm confused as to, I get it. I get the sensationalism around it. I'm just confused about why
I think
such a story.
I think some stories just take hold of people because it just is, I don't know why, but like the Casey Anthony who killed her daughter, or
that's killing a baby though. Like I get why.
How many moms kill their babies and
they
don't?
Not very many. Like,
true. That's a good thing. True, but there have
unless you're talking about abortion, I'm talking about like killing your baby.
No,
that's what I'm talking about too. Murdering a child after. That's what I'm talking about. Right. Yes, I'm not talking about like preborn.
Okay.
So there have been a lot of, what is that you all call the infanticide or something? Okay, there's a lot of those, but there's certain stories that just take hold of people's hearts, maybe because like everything that's set up creates some type of like more chaos than normal, or some little conspiracy, or like people start taking sides. Or I think there's a lot of reasons why one story comes out like as like they're all murder stories, for example, of moms killing babies, but the one comes out and it's Casey Anthony. There's stories like there. I don't know what all the reasons are, but I guess there's probably like, if they assessed it, which I'm sure somebody has, there's probably like, if the story meets this, like that guy who said he predicted the presidential president, like maybe you can
with
start
the keys and all that.
Yeah, which I knew he was wrong anyway, because his perception was too strong the other way, regardless of reality. Regardless, I'm just saying that some factors are met so highly by certain cases that they just take the forefront. I don't know what it, maybe in the situation it was it's teenagers, it's athletes, I heard that Frisco, Texas, where this happened, and this group of schools was like an affluent area of town in that community. Like let's say like Henry County or Oldham County. Yeah, like
Prospect,
something like that. It was where you would least expect it if there was going to be
that makes
something.
More sense.
Yeah. So I think that
makes more sense.
It has a lot to do with that. Maybe the black and white thing, but I was
going to say it has to do with that.
It has to do with it as far as like, this guy's white, this guy's black, but I think it's less racial. People are looking at it as less racial and more like, this is a black guy, this is a white guy, this is affluent. I think those right now are more than the race part. Like, we're aware of the races,
and it's minors it's a minor that died. It's a kid.
Yeah,
like that's probably a big component to it.
It's a big component. Yeah.
And it wasn't like in the midst of either participating in like a high risk lifestyle. They're like at a school track meet, like something that everybody does on a regular basis. That's considered accepted activity.
2 athletes that like you have to, have some motivation in life to be competing in any type of sports in high school, like definitely in high school. I'm not saying not in other grades, but like you have to, have some type of motivation, either if it's positive or negative, like you're running away from something or you're running towards something. But the community holds high school athletes at like, you start looking at them and supporting them, and at a higher level, and like the community is at even track stars. There's like hear like track stars and athletes, like it's a big deal. So it's just, I don't know. I think for all those reasons, but I don't know what the situation is. But like I said off camera, right now, the Carmelo Anthony murdered the other dude. And
so you agree with his charges? Right
now, yes, but that's on the limited information that I know and that we have, and maybe there's more that I don't know. But until this goes to trial, I don't think like anyone's gonna know like truly.
I don't feel like I have enough information to make a thorough assessment of my opinion.
It's very weird because he, like we said, he's pretty much what he did was initiate a huge over response to some, like a defense. Like he had an injury. Someone confronted him and he overcompensated, and
like that's a really nice way to put it. He overcompensated for that injury he incurred. Like he killed somebody. That's what it looks like.
With the self-defense thing is he was outnumbered too, because he's in an opposing team's tent.
I want to think about that.
And the confrontation is only between 2 individuals, right?
Yeah, but I think maybe some other guys also stood up. Maybe his brother or somebody else was like, dude, you got to go. So maybe he felt threatened. He started feeling threatened.
He felt at risk.
Yeah.
Like there is a component of that. Like if you're outnumbered, even if you escalate the response to the perceived threat, you're justified in doing that. Like if I'm in a place,
no, you're just not in doing that. You're
not committing a murder,
feeling threatened.
Exactly,
not doing anything.
But that can give you a pass if you're in a situation that you're perceived that you're threatened. That does give you justification based upon.
In your mind, it gives you justification. We're going to see if it gave him a pass.
I'm saying in the eye of the law, though.
Yeah, we're going to see if it does. In his mind, let's say it did give him a pass.
Yeah.
Right now, you know?
I mean, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I get what you're saying, though. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I'm just saying those are the type of things like his defense team can bring up. Like, well, he was out.
I'm still wondering, why'd you go sit over there, guy? Like,
I don't understand
why did you go over there? Why did you like?
Maybe the rain happened and we all just ran to a tent and then. But after
didn't
that,
they say they were in their area? Like, imagine, I don't know, maybe there were 8 track.
Think about a track though. If there are 2 ends of the track are not that far apart.
No, I know, but if each school has their own tent, right? And there's their own athletes, like 10 of them under that tent, right? You're gonna feel like, I would feel weird going to a whole nother school's tent, right? And parking my butt over there with them.
You know what I want to ask?
Like, what did you do?
Where was the coach? Why didn't the coach step in and say,
that's a good point.
Hey, dude.
Well, maybe the coach went to go talk to someone. Like, I don't think doesn't seem like the coach was right there next to him. But
I get that, but like, where's the adult intervention in this situation?
An adult is not always right next to you. Maybe he went to talk to another coach. Regardless, what I'm saying is, and put yourself in this situation. There's a group.
So should Austin went to his coach and said, "Hey, this dude from this other team's in our tent.
100%.
I've asked him to leave. He's not leaving. Can you go talk to the other team's coach and say, figure out what's going on? Because this situation is getting volatile. The situation's getting confrontational.
I think so. But it didn't deserve him getting murdered. But yes,
I understand
he should have done that.
Kids don't think about that.
He should have done that. No. He shouldn't have handled it himself.
I will interject here, and I will say that you would think that that's how easy it is, where you just go seek an authority to solve your situation. But sometimes the authorities, they just don't really know what they're doing, and they just don't care. And sometimes you have to take that into your own. Yeah. You have to take that into your own hands, especially if you're 17.
Well, you don't have to take it into any hands. You could have they could have just let him stay there and been like, all right, dude, like, they could have maybe read him a little better and been like, but they're young. Like, I'm not saying, like, there could have been way better actions that Austin and or his teammates took. 100%. Go to your coach, try to help the guy, maybe approach him differently. Don't grab his stuff. Leave him alone. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like,
probably go to your coaches first.
First go to your coaches. First, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is,
because other kids are gonna look like, you can't tell me what to do. You're a kid like me. But
exactly.
when an adult steps in, not always, but in that situation where we're at a sporting event where there is a hierarchy and a chain of command of how things operate on this field, let's institute that first. And I get it. Young people will not always default to that. I get it. I don't want to. I'm looking at it, 2020's hindsight, and I'm looking at it from a perspective of life experience and being an adult. And I can put myself in the place of a teenager and not following that, being on some, especially, people that have machismo, you're gonna be like, hey, dog, you gotta roll out. What are we doing here? Like, you're not even a part of this. What we got going on here? You got to go.
2 things. I think that where was his coach is a good question, but not in this sense. Where the heck was the coach? No. Where was the coach? That's a question. Where was the coach? It's like, dang, like, a coach has to be besides 15, 16, 17-year-old athletes at every moment of every second of the meet. What if he has to go talk to another coach? So if he can be away for a minute, it could have happened in that minute. It doesn't matter. This is the last thing I've been trying to say, but that I want to finish saying, actually. Yes. I haven't been interrupted. We've been talking. But I guess I want to reiterate it. I think I said it, but I want to make it super clear. If there's a group of people over there, and it's 8 or 5 or 6, whatever number of them, right? It usually, as people feel uncomfortable walking up to another group, right? And just like parking yourself in between them. What was that guy's mindset?
Especially an opposing group, somebody
Especially
that's
an
different.
opposing
That's
group.
a
Like,
group that's.
what were you doing? So I want to know, like, what was your, what is it? What was your intention? What was your intention?
Motive.
What was your motive for going over there and like putting yourself? Because that's not normal behavior necessarily. You know, I'm not saying it's abnormal, like it's abnormal, like unheard of. It's just uncommon behavior.
Well, you used a good word, because intention or intent is how the degrees of murder is defined. It's based upon your intent. Like, what did you?
You can go.
Why did you enter that situation? Like, what did you mean to occur from the situation you entered yourself into?
And it could seem like, as because it is irregular behavior, that it could seem as like taunting. Like, did you go over there to taunt someone to come for you? Like, did you look for someone to be like, come for me, come for me? Let's see what happens. Like, what did you like? Did you try to social engineer something over there? Like, what was it that deep? Like, were you that thoughtful about it? Because I feel like if he's that thoughtful about his defense, like super quick, like defending himself because of this, he's a thoughtful guy. So if you're super thoughtful on the back end, you must have been super thoughtful about what you were doing on the front end. What was the reason he did that? Like, you can't just all of a sudden be a whole genius when it comes to defend yourself, but a total dummy when it comes to like, well, I didn't know that sitting over there would like cause all this to happen. Well, then how
come on, you're 17 years old.
Come on,
dude.
and you're too smart over here. You're too smart when it comes to defending yourself. And you're,
you know, if they were 10 or 11 years old, then maybe I can get that mind frame. But at 17 years old, and not only that, at this point, if you're a curated athlete, you've been to multiple track meets, you know how things work,
protocol,
you know how things work. It's not your first time on the field. Like, that's crazy.
And never once me saying that it's sad and he shouldn't have gotten murdered, assuming that he was straight up murdered, means that I think that Austin or his teammates did everything right or didn't do things even wrong.
I agree with you.
You know,
I agree with you.
Because I do think that they could have done things better, but then sometimes things are flat out wrong. I don't think that you should touch somebody's things and move them, because you're really escalating a situation. Then you can tell someone all day, move, and then like if somebody puts their hand in their bag and tells you, see what's going to happen if you touch my stuff, dude, like.
That's a common thing that kids say. How many times have you heard that when you were in a teenager?
Yeah, but nowadays you hear that from like Calvin. You hear that from somebody, you're gonna be like, dude, I'm sorry, dude. Like, no.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, think about that from you being a teenager, and like, tell me you didn't hear that. Hey, you come touch me.
See what's gonna happen? That's super common.
That's super common.
You walk over here, you gonna be listening back.
You know, that's that. You know. All right,
Chris, you didn't cut you off.
What?
Yeah.
I cut you
what
off.
Do you have to say?
Nothing at all.
I cut him off because he said that rules don't matter in a sanctioned sports event. If you feel like it's dangerous, your life is in danger. And I was like, what are you talking about? If you feel that way, don't go run that track at that track meet.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, I get where he's coming from, and we need to end this segment, but I don't know. I just feel like what you're saying, it was a little provocation, but at the same time, Austin probably overstepped his boundaries. There was other ways to handle that situation that probably could have led to a different outcome. So how much is he culpable for his own death, for lack of a better word?
None. No culpability for his death. Culpability for getting the crap kicked out of him, maybe, right?
I agree.
But for his own death?
Yeah, I don't think he deserved to die. I'm just saying,
not even brain damage.
No, I don't think.
There's no levels up to death that are like even super damaging that deserved. You know?
I just think the attorney that's gonna, because I think Carmelo Anthony is claiming self-defense. His attorney's gonna twist that. Is what I'm saying from a legal perspective, not what actually matters and what actually happened in like the real time occurrence. Is what I'm saying. Yeah.
And I just want to say, So sad that he
So
died.
sad.
So sad for his parents,
Mm-hmm.
and so sad for his brother, his twin brother, who he watched. He died in his brother's arms, and he like held his. I might have turned my microphone. Held like try to tourniquet his heart or something. It was just that's twin
That's a
brother.
true tragedy.
That's trauma for
That's
life.
A tragedy.
Yeah. And it is tragic for the other guy. He ruined his life and the other guy's family. It's just tragedy.